fights need to happen in 2025. Let's just get straight into it. Fights that need to happen immediately. The first one is Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Not sure what's taking so long here. I think the reasoning behind it not being booked is because, you know, the Saudis and Abu Dhabi, they love Khamzat. So basically this fight can only take place at one of two cards. The Saudi card, which is in June, or the Abu Dhabi card, which is in October. That's what it seems like. It's not going to happen in International Fight Week in June. It's not going to happen in August. It's not going to happen in September. It's not going to happen in MSG in November. It's not going to happen in December in Vegas. The clock's ticking on this fight. We need to see Dricus versus Khamzat. This is absolute cinema. Dricus is going to be the first contender, really, that is going to test Khamzat's cardio, you know? If Khamzat can't just take down Dricus in round one and submit him, we're in for a treat here. This is going to be an absolute banger. Dricus has shown holes in his game, as has Khamzat. These guys are not indestructible, but they are finishers, and they go out there and look to leave their mark. So this fight needs to happen immediately. Of course, you gotta have Buck versus Cook in 2025. This is banking on Joaquin Buckley beating Kamaru Usman at UFC Atlanta. If that happens, I don't really know how this fight doesn't get booked, other than Ian Garry being like, oh, I want a title shot by beating Carlos Prates. Well, guess what, buddy? Sean Brady is ranked #1. He just beat Leon Edwards. Shavkat is ranked, I think, #2, and he beat you. So good luck with that. And then JDM versus Bilal. JDM wins that. We're going to probably have JDM Shavkat. So Ian Garry, your title aspirations are not there. So you need to fight another contender, and this is the perfect cinematic matchup. They've been calling each other out for years. Actually, it's mainly been Buckley calling out Garry, but recently this has been heating up. There, Buckley showed up to Ian Garry's weigh-ins against Prates. He was, you know, giving him the look, and then Ian Garry's wife kind of intercepted it. A whole bunch of nonsense happened, but the beef is strong, and it's a high contender matchup. We need to see this. Then, of course, you got to have Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane for the heavyweight title. We need to book... Wait, what am I... Yes. John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. Dana White hijacked my PowerPoint there. I'm not sure what happened, but John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. This needs to be the fight. If this gets booked, Cyril Gane Aspinall, this channel is being terminated. I don't know what else to tell you. The UFC is completely cooked if they make Cyril Gane versus Tom Aspinall. Please, for the love of Christ, for the love of everything that's holy, book John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. Do not book Cyril Gane versus Tom Aspinall. That would make the UFC world go on fire. We need to see the undisputed champ versus the interim champ. The fact that Aspinall has defended the interim title is just absurd, #1. The fact that they're contemplating Aspinall defending the interim title twice is completely absurd. I saw that this actually might be the fight that's getting made next. And please, God, please, we need to see this. Just pay John Jones $100 million, give him like 30 Bitcoin, you know, wire it to his account. Do whatever you need to do to make this happen. This is our last opportunity. This is the last chance. This is the last chance that we can get at John Jones getting a clean loss. You can't keep getting away with this. And Tom Aspinall is the perfect guy to make him not get away with this any longer. Of course, the super fight in the lightweight division, Islam versus Ilia. Just count down the days for this to get announced, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised by the time this video drops that this gets announced. It could even be announced today. It could be announced tomorrow. But the fact that we're not getting it yet, International Fight Week is approaching quickly. Ilia did say he's in fight camp, but he didn't say who he's gonna fight. You know, I mean, I sincerely doubt that this is not the fight that's next. I doubt it. This has to be next. I mean, Islam versus Gaethje, no, that would be horrific. Islam versus Arman, they're not going to book that because Arman pulled out in January and Dana hates him now. They need to make Ilia versus Islam. It needs to take place in June. Do not put this on the Saudi Arabia card. You don't do it. Don't do it. I know they're offering you a giant bag of oil money, but do not put this on the Saudi Arabian card. This needs to be in Vegas. This needs to be in Fight Week. And if it's not in Vegas, you know, maybe it's in the August card. You know, maybe it's in the July card. But just don't put this in Saudi Arabia, please. That would just be a giant disservice to the UFC community. Put this in International Fight Week. We need to see this banger. I know Ilia will probably be like plus 300. So in theory, this fight probably plays out not close and Islam just dominates. But regardless, we need to see it. Next fight, Kayla Harrison, Amanda Nunes. We need to see this one. Amanda Nunes is the GOAT of women's MMA, basically. And Kayla Harrison, she's going to fight Juliana Pena in a couple weeks for the title. So, Kayla, don't F this up, all right? You have to go out there and beat Juliana Pena. She's very beatable. Don't fall into an armbar from her guard. She's very active down there. Don't fall for the constant 1-2 flurries. You know, I know Kayla Harrison's striking isn't the best, but I mean Juliana Pena, there's just no way she beats her. I don't see any path to victory other than a meme outcome, which is like a meme sub, a meme knockout, just something utterly out of this world to happen. So if Kayla wins, Amanda Nunes already said that she's fighting the winner. And then we need to see this then. We need to see Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Harrison, the winner of Kayla Harrison versus Juliana Pena. We need to see it this year. Amanda Nunes might not be technically in her prime. She kind of retired, but coming back for one more fight, GSP style, that's goated. I don't care any way you slice it. So this would be a nice one. Kayla Harrison, if she can't get takedowns, good luck with Nunes on the feet. And even if she can get takedowns, good luck keeping Nunes down there. So this should be a banger, and it needs to happen immediately. This fight, we got two contenders in the lightweight division. Paddy Pimblett called out Charles do Bronx Oliveira. So guess what? We need to see Paddy Pimblett versus Charles do Bronx Oliveira, two of the best BJJ specialists in the division, in the weight class. And honestly, Paddy at this point, his striking has improved tenfold. Charles Oliveira might be on his way out. You know, his chin has always been a questionable thing in his career, but Charles Oliveira still has elite striking, still has elite jiu-jitsu, as does Paddy Pimblett lately. He has elite jiu-jitsu, and his striking is starting to get up there. This is the perfect matchup for Paddy to cement himself in the top 5 of lightweight, maybe even get a title shot. And on the flip side, if you're a Paddy hater like I used to be, Charles Oliveira beating Paddy Pimblett, that would make a lot of people very happy. I think there's a high chance of a finish in this matchup, as there is in every Oliveira matchup, and this would just be a high-flying banger, to be honest. So give us this year, please. Last but not least, let's talk about Gene Silva, one of the featherweight legends making his way up the rankings. And I understand, you know, Gene Silva versus Lerone Murphy, that's the matchup people are targeting. But if you just look at the whole rankings, if you match Gene Silva up with most of these people, it'll be a banger matchup. And I basically just want to see Gene Silva fight again this year, and I want to see it happen immediately. He barely took any damage against Bryce Mitchell. So Gene Silva versus Josh Emmett, let's skip that one. Gene Silva versus Sterling, let's also skip that one. Gene Silva versus Lerone Murphy, that's the ideal matchup, but it might not be the most entertaining one. That's a losable fight for Gene Silva. Next, Brian Ortega, that would be a great matchup. You could get a nice KO against Ortega. His chin is dust lately. Arnold Allen, let's skip that one. Maybe that wouldn't be the best matchup for Silva. Mobzar, Mobzar's getting the title shot most likely. Yair, I doubt Yair would try to fight Gene Silva. He would lose that one, and he would be fighting 7 ranks down, and that I sincerely doubt. Unless Dana White was like the winner gets a title shot, then maybe Yair would take that fight. That would be a banger matchup. Gene Silva versus Ilia. You know, Ilia's a lightweight, doesn't matter. Gene Silva versus Max Holloway. Max Holloway's a lightweight, doesn't matter. Gene Silva versus Diego Lopez. Now that would be a banger. I would think that Diego Lopez would win that one, but regardless, whole lot of yap for me just to say, we need to see Gene Silva fight immediately. Thank you for getting to the end of another episode of Finn's Chats. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments which fight do you want to see immediately happen in 2025. And leave a like, subscribe, and have a great rest of your day. You savage.